Hello and welcome to Create the Flow. I'm Monica Freeman, host and founder of Monica Freeman Studios and Unewell. I am here to guide you in aligning with your soul's purpose, trusting your inner voice, and building a life that you truly love. You were born with a purpose, and your intuition already knows the way. Hello, my love. Today, I want to talk about transformation and what that looks like, because a lot of my podcast episodes have been slowly moving into that space of transforming your inner self so that you can really release that critic that we all have. But I rarely talk about transformation in your life, that place where something no longer fits. It can be a person, a job, or a place. It can be anything that no longer fits your life in this chapter. Transformation is really hard because we love feeling comfortable. Our nervous system loves to hold on to what it knows. And if you've been in a relationship for a long time, whether it's working or it's not, or you have had a career for a long time, or you've lived in a house for a long time, or in a city for a long time, or whatever your story is, you have a connection to that. There is a part of that that feels safe to you. And that's understandable because it is programmed. It is part of your nervous system. It is an imprint that has been left on your nervous system. But that doesn't mean that it's meant to be. I've been thinking a lot lately about the city that I live in. I love Los Angeles. And every time I see somebody that posts pictures of all the fun things there is to do in LA, I'm like, oh God, I love the city even more. What's not to love? But there's also a part of me that's like, are we done with this chapter? Am I ready to move to another city because I've seen and done everything in LA? Or is it me? Am I going through a transformation internally where something doesn't feel aligned and I can't place it? I think a lot of it has to do with the quality of life, what things cost. The more I look at homes in other parts of the country versus Los Angeles, California, I think to myself, man, I could have a 6 or 7 bedroom home for what I pay for a 2-bedroom home in any other part of the country. Just the quality of living. No, I don't need a house that big, but the point is I have options if I leave. That's the same with you. If you're in a transformation right now, you are probably feeling this pull to move into one direction, but maybe you feel stuck. Maybe you are in that in-between place and you're still trying to suss out what is the right thing to do. And a lot of that is healing those limiting beliefs that are keeping you feeling like you need to stay where you are. A lot of it's our ego. For instance, my ego feels like it's a downgrade if I leave Los Angeles. If I'm not moving to Europe or some wonderful place, New York City, then I failed. Because my ego has attached an identity to this city for several reasons. I won't go into that on this episode, but I know that. I also know that about my career. I feel like if I become this wellness guru and I'm not a creative, well, then who am I anymore? Am I just a spokesperson? Am I just a coach? Am I just a guide? Why is my ego judging this path in my life the way I feel? And I think about this because we are our own worst critic. And a lot of times we keep ourselves playing small and we stay complacent because we're so afraid to step into the transition because it's technically the unknown. It's so easy to go straight to the negative and think, what if it doesn't work out? I love that meme that's like, what about if it works out better than you had ever imagined? Because rarely do we think about the best case scenario. We are so programmed to go straight to the negative. Well, I'm going to be forever in debt, or I'm never going to find another partner if I leave this relationship. I'm never going to be able to start another business if I give this business up. If I go into corporate and I shift jobs, that one may not be good, or I might not get the same salary or better salary. I might not like the people I work with. I may not even find a job. All these questions plague us, and they're all subconscious programming. It's all stuff that we have the power to control, but it takes time. Time heals all, right? Isn't that the expression, time heals all? And it does. I know when I was going through my healing journey, that year sabbatical that I took, it was nice. But I was so in the depths of that trauma healing that time felt like it lasted years. But the second I finally understood the tools, the modalities, the healing, the internal pieces that needed to be fixed, it came together so effortlessly. And now I look back and I'm like, that chapter happened so quickly. Like that was just a blink of an eye. When in reality, it felt like it was lasting forever, especially because I think I've shared with you guys at that point in time, I was fully not working, so I wasn't making any money. And if you can imagine watching your savings account go less and less and less every month because you are in a healing phase, not a pretty picture. But I will say I wouldn't have done it any other way. I'm glad that that had to happen. But I bring that whole story up to let you know that the reason why that happened is because when I felt the internal nudge, the shift to move into a different direction, to make that transition, I didn't do it on my own. So the universe had to force me into that uncomfortable dark night of the soul to get me on the other side. Sometimes we are playing small because we are so afraid, and the universe knows what we're capable of. And our energy is telling the universe we want something different. So it just redirects us. And it doesn't always look pretty. When that divorce happens abruptly, when you get laid off, when your company goes under, when you stop getting clients, when you feel lost in that middle phase, that gray area, it's really scary, but it doesn't have to be. And that's what I want you to take away from this episode today, that transitions don't always look linear and they don't always feel clear. There's not always, as I've shared before, a logical explanation why we feel the way we do, but we do. You know in your heart if you want to take a trip. You know in your heart if you want to start a business, if you want to work in corporate, if you want a new job, if you want a new salary, if you want to ask for a raise, if you want to move, if you want to buy a new house, if you want to get a divorce, if you want to get married, if you want to have kids. We know these things. But because of so many things, we resist leaning into them. And today I want you to challenge yourself to stop resisting change, to stop feeling afraid of the gray area, to actually look at it from the lens of curiosity and ask yourself, what is this telling me? What exactly is this allowing me to open up and reveal about myself? And this is coming from a neutral lens, you guys. I don't want anyone to judge themselves. We're not here to judge our choices. In fact, no matter what you do in this life, whether it works out or it doesn't, let's not judge, and let's not judge each other. The beautiful thing about living a godly life or a life in faith is that everything comes from love. And whether you believe in spirituality or any religious background you may have, or any belief for that matter, anything in the world, at the end of everything, we have two emotions, love and fear. And love is essentially peace, and it's at the highest vibration of the emotion scale. And when you are not in that vibration, you are in fear. So when you stay in love and peace, you're going to attract things to you that are meant to come to you. You're going to attract that clarity. You're going to attract the space to feel like yourself again. You're going to attract the thing that you want on the other side. But if you keep trying to force things, like I know I've been very guilty of, it's going to take a lot longer, and you might find yourself in a dark night of the soul like I had, and it's not a pretty picture, because rarely is anybody prepared for that. While the gray area does feel a little murky and it's not fun, whatever's coming up for you, don't be afraid of that. Don't try to push that down. Open that container to receive more of that. Because the more you get curious about that and the more you lean into that, the more you're going to be guided down the path that you're meant to be on. I hope this inspired you to relax in the gray area, to feel safe in the transition, and to know that you don't have to have it all figured out, and you can be on either side of that transition and still get through it. You still have time. You will always have time. And everything does work out exactly as it's meant to when you start to see things as happening for you and not to you. I love you so much, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. If you'd like more information, you can follow along on Instagram at Create the Flow Podcast, or find me personally at Monica Freeman. And if you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to leave a review and share it with a friend.